3 hours looking at the camera. It's like watching water boil.
Welcome in, latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Brett. I go by SEC Mike on the Twitter's machine, and there he is, everybody's favorite cousin. Come on, Cousin Shane. How's it going, brother?
Hey, baby, what's going on?
Oh, buddy, man, we got some memberships flying in here. Appreciate you, Mario. Welcome to the family. Gas, he's renewed. Appreciate you, Gas. Hope to see you at the next family reunion. But
speaking of celebration, Mike, happy birthday, brother.
Yeah. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you did, I'm going to top one off here. I usually save these for the power rankings, but I figure, what the hell? This is basically my Friday night. You know what?
Absolutely. Now, did you get like 29 on the cake again? You know, just
Oh, no. My lady got the big 4-0. So
Lordy, look who's 40.
it's all downhill from here.
That's
you know what?
right. Hey, here's the hairline.
But man alive, we have got us a show here, brother.
Yes.
We've got... Wait, first of all, how's the softball game? Why everybody wants to know why the hell were you late?
Well, it is the last game of the year, and my daughter got the last out. I was like,
wait, she batted in the last out, or she threw someone out?
She batted last out, and
Damn it.
I was like, damn. I was hoping that this chain of families, you know, I thought maybe there'd be like one athlete. No, don't get me wrong. My daughter's much better athlete than I've ever been. But to get that last out, I was like, she may have the curse, you know, she may have it. I always wanted to say good luck is like one generation at a time, but I may have passed that down too, Mike.
Right. Well, let me ask you, before she went up to bat or anything.
Yeah.
Did you lock her up or anything?
I leaned over to my wife and I said, watch her get the last out. Now, and then it kind of happened. So, but hey, season's over. She said she's wanting to hit hard in the off season, try to get ready for spring ball. So, but till then, Mike, schedule just cleared up, all college football. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was kind of revisiting my picks during some of those very long innings. And I said, I'm losing confidence in these, man. I felt pretty good when I put them together, but as I'm looking at it, I started second guessing, and I did flip one of the scores.
Cousin John says Shane's girl threw the game after he bet on it, probably.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, my little Pete Rose.
Yeah, so we're going to get to it, Shane. Our predictions, as always, though, brought to you by MyBookie, the online sports book. It's mybookie.ag is the website. Put in that promo code, that SEC, THAT SEC over at MyBookie. They'll double, Shane, double, like a double cousin curse, your initial deposit, $50 minimum, $1,000 max. What do you got to lose? Fade our picks. Make use of, buddy.
Fade. Mike, I'm about to go 2-0. I feel it. Out of all the ones I felt real bad about, the one I felt really good about was my lock. So you better get behind Cousin Shane this week, because I'm about to make some people money.
Right. And shout out Brodo Baggins. What a name. What a name, Shane. I was on with T-Bob earlier on their Snaps channel. I'd highly recommend, if you're not already checking that out, subscribe to it. They do a great job. But I was on his show, and then we posted the interview with T-Bob A-Bear, so that's on our channel. Go check that out when we're done. Always a good time with old T-Bob. You know what?
Oh, never a dull moment, you know. I think the only bad thing is having that show so early, you know, because I think getting him out at night, that's when things get a little rowdy, brother.
Right. And the only one I like more than T-Bob, the only one, Shane, Cousin JR. How about it, man? What a guy. What a guy. They're going to start thinking this is us, Shane, with all this generosity here. Cousin JR, thank you so much. He just donated a membership to Salt Mine. Salt Miner, you are in the family. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Salt Miner. Thank you, JR. What a man. What a man.
Welcome to the family.
Well, Shane, hey, before we get to our picks, though,
yeah,
as always, I'm feeling really good.
Are you?
Really, really good. Not about my picks necessarily, but
prize?
PrizePicks, come on, PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports. Head on over to PrizePicks, promo code SEC. You play 5, you get 50. What the heck is this PrizePicks? Daily fantasy sports. They got all the sports covered, but we love PrizePicks because they got the college football selection. So again, PrizePicks.com, promo code SEC. Play 5, get 50 for free. Come on, come on. And I'm going to give you some winners here, Shane. I don't know if you're going to like these.
Oh, God.
But I cannot be doubted on these prize picks.
Yeah.
You know what? Jackson Dart. I got both Jacksons, so I can't screw it up. Jackson Dart, Jackson Arnold. I'm playing both of them, Shane. They're going head-to-head. Jackson Arnold, 190.5 pass yards.
Yeah.
Give me the less than. I don't think. Again, I'm a big Jackson Arnold fan.
Mm-hmm.
All the receivers banged up for Oklahoma. You're going on the road. Ole Miss got a hell of a defense. I don't think Jackson Arnold gets to 191 pass yards. Do you?
I don't know, man. New coordinator, maybe a little spark in the Oklahoma side. I mean, there's that side, you got to admit, is still floating. So, I'm kind of indifferent here. But, Mike, you've been so damn good at these. I'm going to say, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Oklahoma play offense? Again, I'm not saying they're bad or horrible, but the offense is pretty bad. Same thing, though, with Jackson Dart. I don't think there's going to be any kind of blowout necessarily. His number's a lot higher, though, Shane. 278.5 pass yards for Jackson Dart. Say what you want about Oklahoma, they got a really good defense.
Yes.
Give me the less than. I don't think Jackson Dart gets to 279. That's a lot of passing yards.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you on this one, Mike. And I don't want to tip my hat either, but I do feel like this may be a low-scoring game. And with that, low yardage and passing makes sense.
Mm-hmm. How about this one, Shane? Jalen Milroe. I don't know what's going on with Jalen Milroe. He's a hell of a player, but he ain't getting 246 pass yards on Missouri's defense. No, sir. Give me the less than. 245.5 pass yards. Give me the less than. Thoughts on that one?
Yes, I like this one. I do like this one.
Okay, and then Connor Wigman.
Yeah. Less than.
17.5 rush yards. Give me the less than.
17. Not
17.
one run, just set total.
Well, yeah, not one run total. Because here's the deal. Can he hit that? Certainly. But college, it's a little wacky, as we know. You get a sack, that goes against your rush yardage.
Yeah.
So LSU defense kind of heating up. They got some good pass rushers. A&M's got some good offensive linemen as well. But I don't think they're going to be asking Connor Wigman to run wild or anything in this game. So give me less than 17.5 rushing yards for Connor Wigman.
Yeah. I love that one.
Now, I'm not a complete hater. One final one, Shane. We'll have to see it. Make sure he's available because he's in the updated injury report. He's listed as questionable, but if he plays, so monitor that. Cedric Alexander, Vanderbilt running back. For all the love that Diego Pavia's getting,
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander's been a revelation. He's awesome. He is. If Diego Pavia is the most important piece of Vanderbilt's offense, Cedric Alexander's number 2. Give me, they only got him as 34.5 rush yards against Texas. Give me the more than for Cedric Alexander could get that in one run. You know what?
Yeah, I like that one, man. Absolutely. Anything you could get in one series, I'm all for,
Hey, appreciate you, Carl. He just gave us $10 here. He says,
Hey, thanks, cuz.
Get you a pair of readers from the Dollar Tree, Mike.
Oh, gosh, I love it, man.
All right.
Hey, we're getting old. That's just part of it, Mike. But I do like these prize picks. We got a couple teams on bye, and you may be looking for a reason to watch some of these games, and that's what's fun about it. You just pick 1 or 2 players on there that you feel good about, or maybe you don't feel good about, and $5 to 50. I mean, that's a pretty good ratio there. So absolutely.
Yeah, it just adds.
It's fun
to the football. I mean, I didn't know college football could get any better.
No,
but you put some money on it. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, definitely. They've been doing this for how long?
But
I remember growing up, Mike, real quick.
Yeah.
Our uncle, used to go to, I think it was the Elks Lodge or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And, gambling was illegal in Tennessee, but he'd come back with these little pieces of paper and they're like this long, and you got the spread and you put your box in. And I'm like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me if I put $1 on this, I could win 1,000 if I get so many of these right? And he's like, yeah. So you put it, and I'll never forget the first time. This is probably when I discovered gambling, So I'm doing it, and I'm watching. I'm up at noon. I'm watching an Illinois football game. Have no idea who's on the field, none of the players. And after that, man, I was absolutely hooked. So yes, put a little cash on the games. Yeah, it changes the landscape. You really do dial in.
Yeah, so we can blame our uncle for your gambling
Uncle
addiction
Mark,
here.
This one's you. This one's on you. He knows it.
Yep. Hey, appreciate your blueberry. He just gave us a donation. Happy birthday, Mike. Go Big Orange. Appreciate you, brother. But hey, before we get to our picks, as always, we've got a tremendous update here from our buddy James Bryant. Going to give us a Week 9 weather report. Let's kick it over to James Bryant, KATV, out of Little Rock here.
We are at Week 9 of the SEC football slate. Kind of sad the season is getting closer and closer to being over, but we have a ton of great football with great weather coming up, and there are going to be no issues across the conference this week with weather. You're just going to have to watch the temperature at whichever location you're at. We'll start with the early slate, work our way to the late games, and work our way across the conference. The first game is that noon Eastern time on ESPN, 11 Central. It's Oklahoma at Ole Miss. It will be 71 at kickoff with a few clouds, and we'll have a light north wind at 5 to 7 miles per hour. The high during the game will be 77. A really nice forecast for Oxford. And then just down the road in Starkville, Arkansas goes to Mississippi State this week. That's at 11:45 Central, 12:45 Eastern. It'll be 76 at kickoff. Another great forecast in the state of Mississippi with a few clouds. The winds there will be light out of the north or northwest, 3 to 7 miles per hour. The high there, a little warmer at 84 degrees. As we move to the afternoon window, this is a ranked matchup, Missouri at Alabama. It's the 3:30, 2:30 ABC game. In Tuscaloosa, it's 83 at kickoff. Winds will be out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour, and temps will fall into the 70s by the end of the game. Very comfortable, but you can still wear shorts to games this time of year at a lot of these locations. Texas goes to Vanderbilt in Nashville, 4:15 on SEC Network. It'll be 74 at kickoff there in Middle Tennessee with a few clouds. Winds will be out of the north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the temperature there will be in the low 60s by the end of the game. Then the big game of the day is LSU at Texas A&M. That's the ABC night game. It'll be 84 for kickoff in College Station. Clear. Winds will be out of the southeast at 5 to 7 miles per hour, and temps will fall to the low 70s by the end of the game. And then for the final game of the day, that 7:45, 6:45 kick on SEC Network, it's Auburn at Kentucky. And there we'll have the coldest game of the day. It'll be 55 at kickoff in Lexington. Winds will still be light, but are at 6 to 8 miles per hour. The skies will be clear, and temperatures could fall to the upper 40s by the end of the game. You could not ask for a better forecast across the conference this week. We are looking at another great week of SEC football. Hope everybody enjoys watching their team in the great weather.
So thanks again, James Bryant, for giving us that outstanding weather report. It just always adds a little something, Shane. I love to know where the weather's going to be across the SEC. Maybe it helps your betting. Maybe it helps your prize picks. And I love hearing that all these fans are going to get treated to some outstanding weather.
Helps your wardrobe selection, because sweater weather, No, this is fall, brother, and I absolutely love it. So I appreciate James coming up there and giving us. This is probably like one of his most chill weather reports. It felt like here last month he was damn fighting a hurricane every single week. So no, this one is awesome, and I'm looking forward to it because again, it's football weather. This is what you think about in the dog days of summer.
And shout out to GT Killer, early contender, comment of the day, Shane. Maybe raining water bottles in Vanderbilt. Yeah, so James forgot that as weather forecast. But, those Texas fans, they better behave themselves. You know what?
Golly. That's going to be a good football week. I've been asked by several. I'm not going to be at that one, Mike. I didn't know if you planned on going over to that one, but I do think that one could be a tricky little matchup.
I might have to run down there. Vanderbilt's pulling an upset, or storm the field.
Yeah, be part of it. Absolutely.
Hey, shout out to ZO_V. He says, happy birthday, Mike. It's 7-11. OU and Aggies still suck. All right, buddy. So,
Yes.
no longer a delay. Blueberry says, does Nautica make sweaters? That's a Shane question.
Yeah, I dressed up a little bit for this show, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's get into the picks action here, Shane. We got us a barn burner potentially. Yeah. Oklahoma at Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 20 points. According to my bookie, over-unders 49 points. This is a noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central kickoff, ESPN. And updated it. Actually, they just updated these again, Shane. But as of today, Deion Burks, receiver, Oklahoma, doubtful.
Yeah.
According to the official injury report. Trey Harris, outstanding Ole Miss receiver. He's listed as questionable. But Princely, outstanding defensive end, he's probable. So it looks like they're going to get him back. But some big-time injuries for this game. How about this? I was looking up some stats here, Shane. I had extra time today, so I looked up some stats. Ole Miss allowing just 17 points per game in conference play. That's number 3 in the SEC, while Oklahoma is only scoring 13.5 points per game in the SEC. That's dead last in the conference. So one of the worst offensive scoring, one of the best defenses. Who do you like in this one?
Oh, Mike, and coming off a bye, that's one of those stats that you talked about too, that you kind of worry a little bit about, just a slow go of things. And I went round and round on this one, because obviously the big news in Oklahoma was a new coordinator, or just say the old coordinator gone, and it feels like you got Arnold back, and I don't want to call it a reset, but it's almost like a restart, like let's start this thing over. And I feel like there may be a little spark in that football locker room, man. I feel like there may be a little extra juice, a little extra energy coming into this thing, because there are so many doubters in the country right now expecting them to lose this game against Ole Miss. But, you could say the same thing was happening to Kentucky when they went to Ole Miss. So there's a part of you that thinks this could quite possibly be a matchup, and then there's a part of you that thinks Ole Miss's back's against the wall. They cannot afford to mess around. And in fact, I'm not saying they need signature wins, but they may need pretty wins along the way to get into the college football playoffs, Mike.
Yeah.
So I went around and around on this one, but I just think the injuries are too much for OU, mainly on the offensive side of the ball. But I do look for them to give Ole Miss a little bit of a fit. So I think they come out early and get the lead 7-0, and then Ole Miss kind of takes it away from there. Give me Ole Miss 27, Oklahoma 13. Close game.
Yeah.
Not really close, but you know what I'm saying.
Closer than the spread.
Yeah.
How about this? Ron Mexico. Remember that, Shane?
Yeah.
You remember when that was popularized?
No.
Well, I'll recap. He says, happy birthday, Mike. Loved the crossover on snaps earlier. Thank you, Ron. But it was Michael Vick when he was in the NFL. The story goes he went to a clinic because he thought he had an STD and he didn't want to give his name, so the name he gave was Ron Mexico. That's why he's got Michael Vick as his profile pic. But that's the story.
Fantastic! No, I did not know that. That's awesome.
You never know what you're gonna learn on this show.
No,
you know what?
Absolutely not. Ron Mexico.
But yeah, I mean, I like a lot of what you had to say, Shane. Again, has Ole Miss gotten over it? The LSU loss.
Yeah,
that's the $1 million question. And we won't know till Saturday. And how does Oklahoma look? Because we don't know what the offense is going to look like, right?
Yeah,
new quarterback, sorta back to the old quarterback, but new quarterback, new starting quarterback. I mean, this could be. I'm going to throw up Oklahoma's schedule here. We just highlighted Ole Miss. And I agree everything you just said. Ole Miss got to win and win impressive if they have any hope to make the college football playoff. But how big would this be, Shane, for Oklahoma? If you're going into a game like this, you're a 20-point underdog. Last week was embarrassing. And again, we could what if every single game pretty much. But I laid it out on the recap show last week. Aside from the 21 points they just handed to South Carolina right out the gate,
Yeah.
they played South Carolina dead even. Aside from the 20, now it's easy to say because they spotted them 21. But again, they're not as bad as they seem, I think.
You're right.
And South Carolina's probably better than most people seem.
Yeah.
Now, can you bounce back? And the point, my rambling statement here, Shane, I've had a couple bourbons here. But if they can win this football game, I think the season can turn around in a hurry. And all of a sudden we're optimistic. But, that's a tall drink of water going up against a team desperate, fighting for their playoff lives. So, yeah, I say all that to that's how I could get see this becoming a ball game. Trey Harris, you kind of need him to miss.
Yeah.
That is one thing. I don't know why they're. Well, I mean, I kind of know why because Trey Harris has been so outstanding. But you take him out of the lineup, all of a sudden, I think that was crucial to Ole Miss losing at LSU.
Right.
Trey Harris got banged up, and without him, the offense was just not moving the ball like it was in the first half. So if he doesn't play, I think that gives Oklahoma a fighting shot in this ball game. But I don't see it. I'm right there with you. A little bit, not lopsided, but Ole Miss 28, Oklahoma 10. So I got it at 18, but I'm right there with you. I think Oklahoma covers, but not by much, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's wild because Ole Miss, the games that they have lost, they had the lead. I feel like this may be a little bit the opposite. It would not surprise me if Oklahoma doesn't come out here, kind of punch him in the mouth, get them going, 7-0, little momentum, and then Ole Miss is like, shit, we've got to get this going. And I'd really love to see this offense kind of take that step forward because that's what we were promised all offseason is, with Juice and Trey and Bree. I mean, all these guys, all these weapons around Jackson, you just thought, man, this was going to be the greatest show on turf. And I've not really watched, other than like cupcake games, I've not watched a legitimate football match and say, this is what we signed up for. And this is the boosters got to be saying the same thing. We gave all this money. We want to see it, The defense looks great, but I want to see the offense. And I feel like this is an opportunity, even though it's tough. Oklahoma's got a really good defense, but this is an opportunity to kind of showcase and show out too.
Hey, shout out to Cousin Mario. He just gave us $10, Shane. So South Carolina, they're on a bye, but he says the Cox going 9-3 after beating 2 Colts, A&M and Clemson and Mizzou. If we didn't get cheated by the damn rest, we're playoff bound. 9 out of 9. Could you see it? Let's tackle this real quick, Shane, for that donation. But could you see it? Again, they'd have to win out. I think we'll learn a hell of a lot more about A&M here this weekend playing LSU. At Vanderbilt, that's obviously much more difficult than we would have imagined in the preseason. At Missouri at home, Wofford at home, and at Clemson. I mean, I think the toughest one is A&M.
Yeah, are we talking a bowl or playoff?
No, he's saying go win out, 9-3.
Yeah, no,
If I were to guarantee you, which this is no guarantee. Because A&M's right now number 14 in the country. But if I were to guarantee you that they beat A&M,
yeah,
would you believe that they could beat the rest of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. But again, there's never a day off here except for
Right.
Wofford, But I look at too as often. I hate to say it, but we know South Carolina's got a tremendous defense. But I'm looking at the offense side, and the only argument I would make is if Brady's healthy by November 16th, if Pavia, kind of proves again this week that he could beat anybody, it's more the offenses I'm worried about. If I feel like they can kind of overcome the pressure that South Carolina can put on these teams, that's where I'm at right now. So A&M, I think, would be the toughest matchup, especially if Connor comes out on fire.
Right, and if this season has taught us anything, Shane, you can beat A&M,
yeah,
and you could turn right around and lose to Vanderbilt, and that would not be a stunning result. You know what?
No, I mean, can you honestly name a better 3-loss team in the country right now than South Carolina?
No, I don't believe I can.
You can't. It's not. It's them. And honestly, because like he said, LSU, that should have been a win. Bama, but
maybe Bama on Saturday.
Don't be giving up your picks now.
All right, let's move on, Shane.
Yeah.
Another playoff eliminator, as Shane has dubbed it. Auburn at Kentucky. What a barn burner here, Shane. Kentucky favored by 2.5 points. The over/under 43.5. Oh my Lord, that's low as can be. 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. SEC Network. And I got some injuries here, but they've just updated. So let me go straight to the source here. Yeah, Shane. This is tough, man. Their guy they projected to be their starting running back, Chip Trainium, he's not played at all, really.
Yeah.
He's out. Deme Sume Kongbe, the guy that has stepped up and has been a top 10 rusher in the SEC, he's out. Oh, man. They're getting Gerald Mincey, the starting tackle, out. Kentucky is really, really beat up in this football game. Meanwhile, Auburn is relatively healthy, so take that for what it's worth. But how about this, Shane? I think I know why this over-under is so low. Scoring in SEC conference games.
Yeah.
Auburn, 16 per game. That's 14th. Kentucky, 14. That's 15th. So two of the literally worst scoring teams in conference play going head-to-head in Lexington. Who do you like here?
Mike, I don't like either one of these. I'd like to know what the lowest ticket price to this football game is, brother, because this is going to be a tough watch. Could be a tough watch. And the thing is, Mike, it's a must win. It's a must win for Kentucky. It's a must win for Auburn.
I got the ticket price here. You want to guess?
Yeah. What is it? $18.
Oh, you're pretty close. 38.
38. Okay. Yeah. Is that a twofer? Is that 2 tickets or is that just one? I don't know. Does that come with parking and 2 free beers?
There is one in this conference, Shane. It must be in the upper decks.
Yeah.
For $2, you can get in. If you had to just guess, there's one game you can get in for $2 this week in the SEC.
Mississippi State, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm sorry to sidetrack you there,
right,
but that's wild, isn't it?
But it's just kind of where this program is. You know, I felt like Kentucky had some momentum. I felt like Auburn was kind of fringe. Obviously, the Cal game kind of sucked, but, you know, going into that Arkansas, you just kept thinking, hey, Auburn's going to finally take that step. They're going to show. And they've been close, man. They've been close to the Arkansas game, the Oklahoma game, the Georgia game, the Mizzou game. I mean, hell, they've had the lead, and then they find a way to squander it. And it's like, you know, I don't know if there's a better, 5-loss team in the country right now than Auburn, because they are a good football team. I feel like Peyton Thorne's actually playing really good football. I feel like they finally said, you know what, hey, let's give this All-American running back some more touches, and it's kind of working. Defense is playing good. Kentucky kind of took the step back last week. I feel like all the programs, they were the one that was most disappointing because of just kind of the give up toward the tail end of that thing. And I wonder how much of that carries over. Now, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no super formula that I plug in here and I pick who wins or who loses. This is pure gut, Mike. And I ain't going to lie, all week I had Auburn winning this game. But as you guys know, Coach Stoops had a tough loss. I don't even know if he's going to be there. Did they say he's going to make to the game?
Stoops?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll be there.
You know, he's lost his mom this week, and I feel like there's something, when you have something emotional like that, I feel like it kind of brings the team back together. What they lost last week, I feel like it kind of pulls back together and win one for the coach here, because I had Auburn all week, but I flip-flopped it at the softball game. So give me Kentucky 24, Auburn 21. They got a hell of a kicker there in Lexington.
Yeah, they do. But as they pointed out on yesterday with Steven's show, Shane, they said, yeah, we do have a hell of a kicker, but we got a bad holder. So he has screwed up a couple times this year. So I appreciate you, chicken. He says, leave Oklahoma's name out your mouth. Appreciate you, brother. But We have some other supers that are so funny. I'll get to in a second here. But, yeah, I mean, how do you have confidence in either one of these teams, Shane?
Right.
If they don't turn the ball over, they can win, both of them. But that's all they've basically done this year is turn the ball over. And I think Brock Vandagriff is more talented than Peyton Thorne, but I think Peyton Thorne's a little bit more consistent. And that ain't saying much because Peyton Thorne, he's been a turnover machine, but I think the last two games for sure, 3 maybe, he's not had a single turnover. So maybe he's turning it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Both these defenses, though, kind of crumbling in the clutch. I can't. That was probably the most disappointing thing I saw in all the SEC last weekend, Shane, was Kentucky and their defensive effort. I don't want to say they quit, but it's like that was not Kentucky. I'm used to Kentucky punching Florida in the mouth, and it was the reverse. So that was pretty bad. Do they respond for their coach? I mean, I got more faith in Mark Stoops than I do Hugh Freeze, obviously, but I don't have much faith in either one of them. So, man, I am torn. And again, Kentucky, Shane, they're playing at home. You think, oh, night game, doing great. 2-10 in their last 12 SEC games at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Meanwhile, Hugh Freeze, 22-30 in SEC play. He can't win one either. So I'm throwing my hands up here. This is a stay away for me. Morristown Honda, Shane. Morristown Honda. Give me Auburn 24, Kentucky 23. I have no faith in either one of these, to be honest with you.
No. It could be a good game, and it could be a terrible game, So pay $38 so you can go watch it, though.
Cousin Gary, I appreciate you. He says, Mark Stoops loses at home once again to Stoops' decaying dynasty, including his brothers.
Yeah.
Fire Bill, appreciate you, brother. Happy birthday from Mizzou fans. Mike, appreciate you. And this one was so good, Shane. I don't want to delay it anymore. Well, I appreciate you too, Cousin Jerry. Says, Mike, never would have guessed you and T-Bob did a show. Go Tigers. We love T-Bob. Where was it? Someone, they wanted us to dress. Oh, here it is. Appreciate you. GS4L. Cousin Shane, dress up as Joe as Exotic. Cousin Mike as a tiger for Halloween as LSU puts that ass to their belt to ass on their Maggie. So I thought that was hilarious. But we may have to do something like that. But
we got a Halloween show coming up.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't even know who we're picking for that one. You know what?
No, but I do have a Halloween costume picked out for the podcast, though.
Oh,
and it is appropriate, I promise.
All right, well, let's go to that $2 game, Shane. Arkansas at Mississippi State. This line has jumped all over the place. It opened at 7. It went down to 4. It's back to 7. So Razorbacks favored by 7 at home. Yeah. Over-unders, 57 points. This is an early one, 12:45 Eastern, 11:45 Central on the SEC Network. And again, let's check the updated injury. That's a benefit of doing this a little bit later, Shane. We can get all the injuries. Jaquinton Jackson, outstanding running back, out.
Yeah.
That's tough, Shane. That is tough. The backup running back, Rodney Hill, questionable for the Razorbacks. So that looks like they're down to the freshman. Meanwhile, Mississippi State, they got a lot of guys out too, but no key contributors quite to the level of Arkansas. So having that knowledge, Shane, who do you like in this one?
Oh, buddy, I don't like either one of these, and it's not that I don't like them. I think this could actually be a fun game, unlike the one we saw last year when these two teams got together.
Right.
In fact, 2023 worst football matchup was against Arkansas Mississippi State. That was the worst football game I've ever watched, probably in my entire life. But I think this could be a little bit of a shootout, and. I'm watching Mississippi State, and I think the knee-jerk reaction is just go ahead and put a loss in there for them because it is Mississippi State.
Right.
They're not expected to win. I think at the start of the season they were expected to win 2.5 games, something like that, and they're right there on line. They're right there. But what I've seen from them, Mike, is just improvement. Day in, day out, every single week, I'm seeing improvement. It's not showing up as wins and losses, but it is showing up in the scoreboard. It is showing up if you just watch it. It's just when Van Buren has took over this offense, it's almost like he was built for Levy's offense, and it's starting to work. Now, I say all that to say this. They still got a horrible defense, Mike. They
Yep.
still got one of the worst defenses in the country. And Arkansas, depending on which Taylor Green shows up, can really exploit that. And this thing could get out of hand. They've still got the firepower. I know our boys out, but I feel like Arkansas is in a sticky situation here, brother. And how bad is that loss lingering in that locker room? Because that was an emotional loss. This is a team that was kind of hoping to get another top 10 win, prove the naysayers wrong, maybe get ranked. You know, they were starting to get a little bit of hype, little bit of buzz, and all of a sudden it just gets ripped right out of their hands, and it was embarrassing. So I'm worrying about just kind of that hangover effect, and that's why I've got this game really, really close, Mike. I've got my first Morristown Honda, only Morristown Honda. Mississippi State, 27. Arkansas, 28.
Oh.
Barely gets them, man. I feel like this is a game that they may be down. And if you have one circled for Mississippi State to get their first SEC win this season, this is the game I'm watching.
Here's one thing that's got me a little concerned, though.
Yeah.
I know there was a bye week in there, but this will be 5 SEC games in a row for Mississippi State. Now, again, there was a bye in there, so it's 5, but in 6 weeks. But still, that's tough, man. That is tough. Particularly, that's tough for anybody, but it's particularly tough for a roster that is in complete transition. So that's got me a little spooked. Mississippi State allowing over 38 points per game in SEC play. That is dead last in the conference. They are also allowing 176 rushing yards in conference play. That's 15th out of 16. Now, perhaps you could say, well, yeah, they played some of the best teams. So maybe those numbers are a little skewed. But the point being, as you so eloquently stated, Shade, their defense is in shambles.
Yeah.
And going back, I watched their game against Texas A&M this morning, and man, it was just third down after third. They could get them to third down, but then they would just give it right up.
Yep.
Time, and it didn't matter if there was one, it was like 3rd and 30, and they got it. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty sad. But, again, if we get that cleaned up, but then again, Taylor Green, he's, even against LSU, I thought, he was looking pretty good. Whew, man, I am torn. And the fact that Arkansas's got some running backs out, that gives me hope that Mississippi State can get this one, Shane. It really does. But 5 SEC games in a row, I think that's going to catch up to State. I really do. So give me Arkansas. I don't feel 100% confident in it, but I like Arkansas 33, Mississippi State 28. So again, I think they cover the spread. State does, which they have been doing regularly. But sometimes it's hard to just learn how to win these games.
Yeah.
They're learning to compete, but can you make the plays to win it? They're not there yet. This could be the Saturday where it turns. And for their fans, I hope it is. But for Sam Pittman, I sure as hell hope it isn't, because he doesn't got much time if he loses this one. You know what?
No. Yeah. This one, again, it's one that I think would be the talk about signing the death certificate. That would be it right here. Losing to State, I feel like that would be it, because there's that. I feel like they're on the fence with Sam. Do we keep him? Do we not? We're seeing improvement. We knocked off a top 10 team. We kind of fringe 25, and we're getting kind of recognition. But you drop to Mississippi State, you're out of here, man.
GT Killer says Shane's going to get dressed up as a brown paper bag and go as Texas quarterback. Sacked. And then you said your costume was appropriate. It was a long time ago. I apologize who said it, but someone said, I was hoping your costume was inappropriate. So,
well, when you're a big guy, you're pretty limited. I went to the costume store and I was looking at some stuff and I was like, man, that'd be funny, but that is not made for big boys, so.
Right. And, oh, man, I always appreciate you, Cousin Rick. What a guy. What a guy. Florida. Bam. Arkansas, bam. Mizzou, bam. State, bam. Collecting W's and tiebreakers. Next, beat the hell out of LSU. Appreciate you, Cousin Rick. What a guy. What a guy.
Thank you, cuz.
All right, let's move on, Shane, to this could be Another historic upset. Texas at Vanderbilt. Shea, Texas favored by 18.5 point in Nashville. Over under 51.5 total points. Game kicks off 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central on the SEC Network. And again, let me check real quick. Vanderbilt running back. Boom, Cedric Alexander, probable. PrizePicks, don't forget. I'm locking him up now that I know he's probable. Meanwhile, for Texas, Isaiah Bond and Andrew Makuba, both doubtful. Those are key players for them Texas Longhorns. So I like Vanderbilt even more. How about it?
Mike, I feel like this could be a good game. And then there's a part of me that feels like it could not be. I'm one of them. I'm one of those guys that looks at Vanderbilt. I looked at that little logo, and I'm just like, they're going to get smoked. It's Texas. That's what's supposed to happen. But I've said that before many times about Vanderbilt. In fact, they probably don't want me to even give them any positive words of encouragement because I feel like they just want to keep proving dummies like me wrong.
Right.
The recipe's simple for Vanderbilt. Just keep away. And they're so good at that, Mike. They can do 12, 15, 16 play drives and go a whole quarter holding on to the football. And I feel like that's what they got to have. The only problem is I feel like Texas, I think they got slapped around last week, and that's exactly what they needed to hear because we see it in the comment section. We see it online. Them Longhorns, they felt like they were this is going to be the greatest season to ever happen in the city in Austin. It just felt like that's kind of the mentality you had, that there is just no way we're going to lose. It's just how many points are we going to win by? I feel like Georgia kind of livened them up a little bit. And they got punched around, but they needed that. And that's why I don't think Vanderbilt has a shot here. I think they would have had a better shot if they would have beat Georgia, kind of sneaking in there, but no. Give me Texas 35, Vanderbilt 21. I do think it's a little closer than the spread says, but I feel like this is never a football game.
Shane, of all the wild things that could have been uttered this football season, this one may top the list. Texas has got something to prove against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But that's 100% what it is, Yeah. What happens if Vanderbilt comes out here and punches him in the mouth? What if Quinn Ewers screws up and has a turnover or two, and then all of a sudden he's looking over his shoulder, Shane, he said, is Arch coming in? They look for Arch for you spark? I mean, I think that's a reality. That's exactly the recipe Vanderbilt got up. They scored right away on Alabama, and then they got the pick six. And 14-0, you're thinking, oh, my God. But the whole game, you're thinking, Alabama will come back.
Yeah.
Alabama will come back. They just never could do it. That's a recipe for jumping on Texas. And again, making Quinn Ewers uncomfortable, forcing turnovers. That will be the key. Diego Pavia, I already told you, said Alexander, 34.5 rush yards over under. Come on. That's a joke. He's going to get that in the first quarter. You know what I mean? He is a dynamic running back. Here's the problem, Shane. And it's a big problem. Texas got a lot better defense than Alabama. I can't believe we live in a universe where that's true, but Alabama's defense is in shambles.
Yeah.
They're allowing over 33 points per conference game. Meanwhile, Texas is hovering around I believe 16 or 17. So, I mean, this is a world of a different defense. If Vanderbilt executes on this team, number one team in the SEC in converting on third downs is Vanderbilt, Shane. They convert 53%. Meanwhile, Texas converts just 33%. That's 13th in the SEC. So that's the key. Can Vanderbilt convert on these third downs? Can they prevent Texas from converting on third down? If they do that, I think they're going to have a ton of success. They may even win this game, but I don't see it. Just like you, this is my lock of the week. Texas, 31. Vanderbilt, 17. So I think Vanderbilt will cover, but I think Texas cruises to a win, if that makes sense. And I would have a little bit more faith in Texas scoring a lot of points. But you nailed it when you said Vanderbilt loves these long, time-consuming drives.
Yeah.
Because that is their key to victory against every team, whether it's Alabama, whether it's Ball State. They want to play keep away. They want to. Their defense cannot match up against Texas offense either. So that's a huge issue. But the way you match up with them is just you don't give them the ball more than 6-7 times.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I feel like Vanderbilt's going to be going for it on every fourth down. They know what's on the line here, and it's 3 yards at a time. You know, you get 3 yards every play, then you're going to keep moving the chain. So that's the recipe. And if you can keep the quarterbacks, you know, we talk about yours and Manning, but you keep them off the field, then all it takes is 1 3 and out, and then you got the ball back, and that's what Vanderbilt wants to kind of get you sucked into. And we've seen Texas make this mistake. They did it with Mississippi State. They have a chance to do it here. It's just I don't think Vandy's sneaking up on anybody. I mean, once you're in the top 25, they kind of got you figured out now, you know.
This could be Texas' best win of the season. Come on. Hey, Chicken gave us a donation. Shane, will you read it?
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. But right now they got us, so I cannot. I'm sorry.
I'll say it. Horse damn. Come on. Appreciate you, Chicken.
Oh, dance, monkey, dance. Yeah.
All right. Oh, how about that? I know you've been dying for this one, Shane.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a great one. Hopefully. Mizzou at Alabama, Shane. Yep. Alabama favored by 17 points at home, over unders 51 total points. This game kicks off 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on ABC. And let's check the updated injury report, Shane.
Come on, Brady. Come on, Brady.
Brady, doubtful.
Oh.
Nate Noel, doubtful. But what I hear behind the scenes, Shane, take this for what it's worth. I hear Captain America, he's playing.
No shit.
Now, I don't know how effective he's going to be, but that's what I hear. Again, I don't know. I'm not up there, but that's what I'm hearing. So I anticipate Brady Cook's going to play in this football game. I don't know how good he's going to play. I don't know how injured he is, but I think he's going to give it a go because this is the damn season on the line right here.
This is why you titled it playoff. What'd you call it? Playoff Eliminator. I mean, I hate to say it, but Mizzou needs this win. Alabama needs this win. They have to have it. I feel like short of one of these teams just kind of taking off on Mizzou's schedule, this may be one of the 2-loss teams that don't get in. And that's crazy, but again, they're not getting the respect in the AP poll. I'm not expecting it in the playoff rankings when they come out. Side note, when do those come out? It's supposed to be this week, right? Or is it coming up?
No,
soon?
It'll be the following. So we got this weekend's games, and then we got next weekend's games, and then they will debut the playoff rankings, and we'll have to do some kind of live show during it. You know what?
Hell yeah, we will. And Alabama may not be on it if they lose this game, brother. And I feel like the knee-jerk reaction is to pick Bama. You know, just lost a close game with Tennessee. They realize what's in hand. There's no way Alabama is going to drop out of the top 25. There's no way Alabama is not going to be in the college football playoff talk. You know, the board. This is why we brought him down here, right? This is just to continue the legacy that Nick Saban created.
Shane, they say if Mizzou wins, we're expecting you to break out the inappropriate gossip.
Mike, I ain't gonna lie. I picked my score because I thought Brady would not be playing. I thought he was doubtful. I thought he was out.
He may not.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
But I'm just saying. I'm just sharing the info I have.
I'll keep it simple, Mike. If he plays, they could win this game. They could absolutely beat Alabama. If he doesn't, I haven't seen anything from Drew to just wow me. And he was kind of thrown into action and stuff, and maybe that's the game plan this week is, you know, all week they've worked with Drew trying to get him. Alabama can get got. And one of the things that you've seen with the Tennessee game, one of the things you've seen with some of these other matchups like South Carolina had, you know, it's like they didn't really test the secondary. You know, Mizzou has the weapons to really stretch this defense and make Bama suffer.
Right.
But on the other side, you know, do they have the defense like Tennessee and South Carolina? I feel like they're really good. I feel like they've been really good, but I don't know if they're as good as Tennessee and South Carolina have been playing here lately. So God, I'm so torn on this football game now that you said I could just see him. I put that video of Ultimate Warrior coming out of the back, just maybe Sting coming off the rope into the stadium. It's like you just know, like glass breaking in the second quarter. Stone Cold's just walking out, and here comes Brady just to win this damn football game. Man, they need him. I don't know what they got to tape up or how many shots he's got to take, but if he's in there, I like Mizzou to win. But unfortunately, I don't think he is. So give me Bama 28, Mizzou 20.
Shane.
I know.
Right in the heart with that pick.
Where's that Mizzou bourbon?
They're already asking, if Mizzou wins, will that be a play? I think that's worthy of an emergency show.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, because they're going to the playoff if they beat this team.
Yeah. This is it.
And Alabama's in shambles, Shane. They're in shambles. They've got nothing to gain. Alabama does in this game. They got everything to lose.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mizzou's coming down here. Everybody, the world's picking against them. 2 touchdowns. It jumped after all this Brady news. It jumped. The line jumped. What do we have it as right now? It's 17. It was 13.5 all week.
Yeah.
Now it's jumped even more. But the decaying dynasty, it ain't a dynasty anymore. It really hadn't been a dynasty in a while. People are just waking up to it. So Alabama's not this juggernaut they used to be. So I do think Missouri's got them a puncher's chance. And I think, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the unit that has surprised me the most in the SEC this year,
Yeah.
aside from basically anything to do with Vanderbilt, is Missouri's defense. Because I didn't think they were going to be very good. I thought this was going to be like LSU last year, where it's just all offense, no defense. It's been the opposite. Their defense has been pretty stellar. And if not for a couple stops against Auburn, they wouldn't have won that game. Brady Cook wouldn't have been a hero if they were giving up points to Auburn last week. So they needed to get their due, and I think they do this week. Again, I'm picking it as Brady's playing, but I got to pick Bama. But I do like Mizzou and the points. I think it's a very low-scoring game, though, Shane. Give me Alabama 23, Missouri 13. But again, if Brady was 100%, I'd probably pick Missouri to win this game. Yeah. But I do think this is the perfect opponent because we have seen it. Alabama's defensive backs, man, they're a problem. They are not good this year. They can be taken advantage of. I think Missouri has a real advantage. Their receivers, Mizzou's defensive backs. And again, both these teams run similar defenses. So I don't think there's going to be much fooling them. I think in a game like this, the matchups, it's all about the players. And I actually, this is crazy to say, I like Missouri's receivers a hell of a lot better than I like Alabama's defensive back. Yeah. So there's opportunities for Missouri to win this game. But with the running back likely out, with the quarterback limited, I got to go Alabama.
And I think the running game will be fine. I'm more worried about just Pine. If let's say he does come out, and what if he's the spark, brother? I know we got to see like a small sample size against Auburn, and he was asked to do a lot.
Right.
But having all week to work with the receivers, there's a chance. I mean, this ain't his first football game. I mean, he's got a lot of completions in his career. I feel like there may be a shot here. We get some tremendous downfield presence, and I don't know, man. I'm so torn on this football. I feel like I'm saying that about all of them. But I see a scenario where Mizzou does win and carries on that hope. But there's a part of me that says, as far as a team, this is the first time they've truly been doubted. There were some that going into the A&M matchup, but this is the first one all week. They've been kind of a flashback to the past, 22, just telling them that Mizzou's not good. And what did they do? They just came out and won. So.
Right. How about shout out Cousin Kyle? What a comment. Mike picks Bama. Now we know Mizzou is winning. Come on, Kyle. It's my birthday. Lay off me. All right. Yeah. Game of the week here, just for Kyle. We'll get to it here. Game of the week, I think, in the entire sport, Shane. LSU at Texas A&M. And this line has changed as well. A&M opened as a 3-point favorite, I believe. Now it's down to 1. So it's nearly a pick 'em here, Shane. Over under 54.5 points. This is going to be the night game, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. on ABC. It's going to be a blackout.
Yeah.
And, man, shit, I got some statistics for you. Buckle up, buddy. Buckle up. These two, 1 and 2, least amount of turnovers in SEC play. I think that's critical to why they've been winning.
Yeah.
So they don't turn the ball over. LSU and A&M each have 14 sacks this season. That's tied for number 2 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both number 1 and number 2 in sacks allowed. So LSU, you can't sack them. A&M, you can't really sack them either. LSU leads the How wild is this, Shane? All these offenses in this conference. LSU leads the conference in scoring in league games, 33 points per game.
Yeah.
A&M, though, is third, 32 points per game. So these are two really good offenses. A&M rushes for over 204 yards per conference game. And A&M number 1 in the SEC in scoring touchdowns in the red zone in conference play. But flip it the other way, LSU number 1 in stopping or fewest touchdowns allowed in the red zone. So all across the board, Shane, this is like strength on strength. I don't see many weaknesses in these two teams. They both have won 6 in a row. I say all that to say, good luck, buddy, picking this one, because who the hell knows?
I do. 2 thumbs at this guy. Mike, there is an imposter among us. I'm telling you right now. Have you ever watched like Scooby-Doo? Mm-hmm. And they get that scene where they pull the mask off and you're like, we knew it was you the whole time, you know?
Right.
One of these teams is lying to us, okay? I mean, if you look at the AP poll, you think, hey, yeah, they look good. You throw up the little graphics there and you look at the footballs and the fun stories. And, yeah, I'd be convinced that one of these teams is just as good as the other one. But one of them is lying to us, Mike. And my job is to sit here and tell you who it is. There's one team that's improving. There's one team that's a college football playoff contender. There's one team that most possibly can make it to an SEC championship. And it ain't them Texas A&M Aggies, Mike. Get them the hell out of here. They're imposters. Hey, it's a cute story. We had fun. You got Mizzou. Kudos. It was a great game, but if you rewatch it, it was a flawless game. Everything went perfect. I do not think that Connor Wigman is a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think there's sparks of him being tremendous. He has to play perfect to beat the LSU Tigers, because you know who is a perfect quarterback? Garrett Nussmeier. And he's going to go down there, and he's going to throw it all over the football field, and we're going to look back at this and say, you remember how close Texas A&M was being relevant? They're one season away, Mike. Give me LSU, lock it down, 31, Texas A&M 21.
10-point win in Kyle Field with the blackout.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care what they do. They got to pop in music like Tennessee does, you know?
Oh, buddy. Why do you hate A&M? That's what I want to know.
I don't hate them. I just think everybody wants them to be here. They want them to be like, are they improving? Yes, especially on the defense. I love the defensive front. I love these guys. I mean, they are aggressive. We talked about it in the offseason about how many sacks they were going to get. We kind of laughed because the first 2 games we're not getting them. But now nobody's laughing. They're running for their lives. So I do feel like there are improvements on here, but I just don't think top to bottom they have a roster to compete for an SEC championship yet.
I'm going to throw up LSU schedule here, Shane. You spot the lie. Got outclassed by Southern Cal. The refs robbed them against South Carolina.
Yes.
UCLA played with them for half. This is literally one of the worst teams in power football.
Halftime speech.
Ole Miss led the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Green banged up. This is an imposter. You talk about imposters, Shane. You're staring at the imposters over there. Brian Kelly, come on, man. He's getting mad about homecoming and this, that, and the other. And you're buying into Blake Baker's bullshit now? Oh, my gosh. Hey, what in the hell's the matter with you? And don't you know them fighting Texas A&M Aggies got one of the best home field advantages in all of college football, over 100,000 strong, going to be screaming their heads off, going to be waving their towels, Shane, Texas A&M, come on. Texas A&M cannot be stopped. Everybody's saying Texas going to win the SEC. It's going to be A&M winning the SEC. Shane, there's going to be 100,000 of these fools waving these towels. And you know what? They're going to be mad as hell come Saturday. LSU wins it. Give me LSU 35, Texas A&M 33. I love what you said, Shane. Better quarterback. That's going to be key in games like this. I don't think Connor Wigman, we've seen him for 3 games. He's looked good in one of them. If he looks good in this one, they'll win. If he doesn't, they're done. And there's not a quarterback I want more in the SEC right now, Shane, than Garrett Nussmeier with the game on the line. And I think it will be on the line. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a 4-quarter ball game. It ain't going to be a 10-point. That's where you're dead wrong. It ain't going to be a 10-point game. It's going to be a game that comes down to one team making a play and one team failing to make it. I think it's LSU. I think Brian Kelly, a little bit better coach than Mike Elko. Not by a drastic margin, but certainly more experienced. Give me Brian Kelly and LSU.
The double cousin curse. Oh, man.
Congratulations, A&M.
I felt really good about my pick until you went in there. I was like, Mike's going to go A&M. He loves those guys. Golly. Man, that's deflating. But I will say, brother, we got us an awesome weekend. And all the games, including this one, Mike, if we sat here for another hour, you could convince me all my picks were wrong. And they could be. That's the beauty of this Saturday. I feel like there's going to be a couple more upsets. There may be an emergency podcast here, but there is going to be ultimate separation. When we get done this Saturday, we are going to know who's going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to know who's not. And that's what I'm looking forward to most come tomorrow or Saturday.
And if it plays out this way, Shay, what do you think will be the biggest talking point across the SEC? Is it LSU's legitimate? They're a playoff team. Is it, or is it a different one? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's still an argument, even though if Texas A&M loses, they're still in the race. You know,
yeah, certainly.
Yeah, they're both leading the SEC right now. That could be the. I think the biggest storyline will be that, but possibly. I don't know. Maybe I hate to say I keep bringing Hugh Freeze up, but damn, you keep getting beat. In my scenario, you know, I mean, somebody's got to answer for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. God, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll get a 3rd season, but if he loses out, they got to fire his ass. You know what? Because they got you. I'm talking even if they lose to ULM. But hell, if ULM's their only win, hell, you know how I feel about it. If they go 0-8 in the SEC, he deserves to be fired.
Oh, Mike. I mean, look at it. They're what are they? 2-5. If they were 4 and whatever, I can't math that up. 4 and 3. Mm-hmm. 4 and 3. We wouldn't even be talking about Hugh Freeze. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's just playing chess. Negative emotions better than no emotion at all. So
if he's playing chess, he's one of those guys just moving the pieces, don't know how they really work. You know, like he don't understand the game. He's just touching them. You know what I mean?
Hitting that little thing on the side, acting like he knows what he's doing. Yeah. Brother, I think maybe that would be the storyline. I feel like I have a close matchup between Mizzou and Bama. You know, it may be a final drive situation, a game 1 on the last drive. I feel like that's what I'm saying. There's some games that I know I'm wrong, and it may be the Mizzou Alabama game. It may be, and it won't be the A&M. That one's deadlocked, but maybe the Kentucky. I feel like there's a couple out there, the Arkansas, Mississippi State. You know, I don't have a lot of confidence in those, but that just means we're going to have some good football because it could go either way.
Right.
Sexy.
I love that. Yeah, funny cousin Shane's sexy Halloween costume. Appreciate you carried by Dad.
I knew this show would get canceled one day, you know, so it's just my costume is going to be the one.
How about this one, though? I know we both picked against it.
Yeah.
What if, and I don't even think this was like it would be a surprise, but I don't think it'd be a stunner. Texas loses to Vanderbilt. How bad that's going to be.
Jeez. I mean,
is Texas making the playoff if they lose to Vanderbilt? Let's throw that up there.
No, because there's no more signature wins. I mean, in my scenario, A&M lost. So
right.
In this scenario, what have you done? I mean, you've lost to. I mean, Michigan was kind of where we were hanging our hat, but since then,
I don't think they're ranked anymore.
I know that's what I'm saying. People are only remembering that football game. But if you lose to Vanderbilt, no, I don't. I think this. But again, I say that, and they're in the 5th spot, and they lost a game. So I don't know. It may be a little.
How about this one? This is a great one from Cousin Kyle. He says if A&M loses, the talking point will be the moment was too big for him. And I think that's fair, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me ask you this though, Shane, and maybe Cousin Kyle, Aggies, Cousin Rick, whoever in the comments. If you lose to LSU, but you win the rest,
Yeah.
I still think this is 1,000% a successful season, and you're going to the playoff if you're 10-2. And you only got one. You may even go SEC championship game if you only got one SEC loss. Again, the season won't be lost. We probably should have said playoff eliminator, but it just feels like it feels like. I mean, that's the mindset you got to go into all these games. But if you lose to LSU and you win the rest, this is still a A+ coaching job, and this is a playoff team.
Well, that's the thing, Mike. We don't know how the playoff committee. We don't know how that's going to play out.
Right.
Only so many teams get in, and I see them up there petting BYU's and petting Illinois. Yeah, that's like, what are we doing? At the end of the day, if those teams, if you just sit and ask yourself, if they were in this conference, where would they be? Problem is those
Auburn.
questions. Yeah, but they still put them in. And so I'm not saying it's a playoff eliminator, this matchup, but there are going to be some bubble 10-2 teams probably in our conference that aren't going to get in because they don't have the pretty resume or the signature wins or just the blowouts, man. I mean, if you're just barely winning, watch Mizzou. They keep trending backwards. They keep finding a way to win. Doesn't matter because they're not winning by multiple scores.
Right. And I think you just hit on something very interesting, Shane. Again, whoever loses LSU, Texas A&M, you're not eliminated.
Yeah.
But we don't know how this thing's going to play out. And there's going to be a lot of teams potentially that are 10-2 that are vying for those spots.
Yeah.
And they're going to give the edge to teams that win these games.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So,
yes.
If you're LSU, you got at A&M as a win. That's probably going to punch your ticket if you finish the deal. If you're A&M and you win a game like that, this is how you build a resume. This is why we're sitting here saying, does Texas get in at 10-2 with no marquee wins? This is a marquee win. So if you're Missouri, winning at Alabama, that's a marquee win. That's how you punch your ticket to a playoff.
And Mike, everybody, we all know this. Since it's the first year we've watched college football, they remember what you do in November. And I feel like late October into November, a loss in that time frame is more detrimental than it is in September. So we're sitting here talking about LSU. They got beat by USC. We're talking about A&M, why they should get in. They got beat by Notre Dame. So, but it doesn't really matter because it was so far away. But if it happens today, if it happens this Saturday, then all of a sudden I think they take even a bigger step back because they don't have that time to redeem themselves. So, yeah, that's why the wins are very, I think, important moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, buddy, I feel like you redeemed yourself with this performance you put on this episode. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, man, I'm just pumped up. Be prepared Saturday. Again, we're going to jump on. I'm assuming around 3:30. I don't know if there's a set time. Mike kind of like throws it on me just at the last minute, but I'm imagining we're going to try to get on right before the marquee game, and then after that, power rankings, and then, of course, we'll interrupt anything if there's an upset. So just keep those notifications on YouTube. Appreciate you guys following, and if you hit the thumbs up, really helps us out. I don't know why, but for some reason it works.
Right, and there's real upset potential in the middle of the day, Shane, or emergency potential with Mizzou at Alabama, with Texas and Vanderbilt. So we'll have to see what happens there. And then the early ones, if Oklahoma pulls it out, man, we might run Kiffin off here in the early hour. You know what?
Absolutely. We'll be signing on for sure.
But all right, buddy, I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you, especially all the birthday wishes. That's all we got on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols. Happy birthday, Mike.